everyone, this is Ilina and welcome to another LDRS creative card video. In this video, I will show you how to stamp the Pirouette pattern onto A2 card front. So here I have the Pirouette pattern templates. There are 4 templates. One is two-sided and it's on white coated cardstock. And the other one are on transparencies and are concentric circles and spirals to get different patterns for your pirouette stamping. So here first I have a piece of white cardstock that measures 4 by 5¼ and I will be lining up only the top 2 parts with the template in order to get that pirouette circle on the A2 card. So here I'm lining the circle pattern with the master template. You can see that there are red arrows on the transparency, and I'm lining those with the red arrows on the master template. So here I'm trying to make sure that I stay within the lines, within the circles, and trying to position multiple images at once to see how that would work. I wanted my images to be closer together, so I decided to first do one image and then move the cardstock to the left, positioning on the next 2 marks, and do another image and then 2 more. So you will see this just in a second. This way, since those are line images, I will be coloring them. I'm stamping all of them in black ink in Raven Hybrid ink. So this will speed up the process of the stamping on all the images together. So here I shifted that for 45 degrees. I'm positioning again that template on top. And I'll position the second image here. So those images will be, those are close together. However, on the lid of my stamping tool, they're not touching since they're in different quadrants. So when we come to the end, we'll remove the stamps one by one since we'll have some gaps there. And I shifted it one more time. And now I'm positioning again that template on top of the master template. I'm going to remove the paper on the bottom so I can see those arrows or the marks. I'll put it back, position them with the 4-inch marks. So I think that looks good. And now I'll add 2 more images. A leaf and a flower. So now I can go ahead and that image, that stamp, what's left in on the template. So I went back and picked it up. So now we can stamp all at once. You can see here it looks kind of makes no sense, but once we start moving that, so you can see here again, I'm just lining those 2 top corners and I'm leaving the bottom of the panel to move freely. Not to move freely, but I'm not lining it up with the template. This will allow us to have that A2 card. You can make even longer if you have larger stamping tool. Here you can see that that corner goes in the hinge, and here by accident I had black ink on the hinge of my stamping tool, so it was left on my cardstock. So I will put this panel aside just in a second and stamp another one that's 4¼ by 5½ and use that one. But I will show you a trick. We can cut this down to 4 by 4. So here I'll put this one aside and we're going to finish it later. Since I have already lined up all the images, we're going to go ahead and cut that 4¼ by 5½ panel of white cardstock. I'm just cleaning up that template. Now I'm making sure that my magnets or my stamping tool don't have ink to leave more black marks onto my cardstock. So we're stamping all 4 images at once. So you can see how fast that goes and how that reed starts to build. And by accident on this one also I had a couple of black marks from the ink, but I will show you how just a little bit to remove those using a sand eraser. So we're almost done here. There are a couple more turns. So I'm removing that ink from the hinge to make sure I don't leave another black mark onto my cardstock. So this is 7 turn and this is the 8. So this one will fill in that nice reed. So we're done now. I'm gonna go back with that template, the first one, and since the first flower was stamped already 8 times, I'm removing that one, stamping one more time. I'm shifting the template again, removing the second image and stamping the last 2 images that were left. So here I am using a sand eraser to remove those black marks. So for my card today, I will use the A2, the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of the panel that's already stamped, and I will use my friend sentiment. So now I'm going and quickly coloring the images. A reed. I'll be using green, pink, yellow, and pool blue. So I'm gonna fast forward here. Gonna speed up the video so you're not watching me color for an hour. But I'm doing pretty basic coloring and pretty basic ink blending using 2 to 3 colors. Not ink blending, but marker blending. So we color those small. Now I'm speeding up here. I'm finishing the leaves. And I will show you a trick. If you go outside the lines with your markers, you can use a white gel pen to cover up your little mess up. So I'm finishing the blue flowers. So here I'm going with the white gel pen, quickly removing just one dot that was outside of the lines. Next I'm adding on every other flower, I'm adding yellow. And then the rest of them, I'll color them pink. So you can see how this pirouette pattern comes to life. So we're done with that, and now we're gonna stamp the sentiment. I'm using black cardstock and the watermark and embossing ink. And I will use white embossing powder to emboss that sentiment to give it a little bit of more contrast. Just applying that white embossing powder. I'm preheating my heat tool and melting that embossing powder. Next, I will go with my paper trimmer and trim that sentiment to size to have a nice rectangle to add it to the middle of our pirouette pattern. I'm using some foam adhesive, foam tape, and then I will use T-ruler to position that straight in the center of our reed. I think there it's good. So now what we have left to do is just adhere this panel to a note card. You could have stamped directly onto a note card and just line up the top corners of the note card with the master template. However, since I was doing some alcohol marker coloring, And those bleed, I didn't want that bleed to be on the inside of my card. So that's it for today. Thanks you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the LDRS Creative YouTube channel. Also visit the blog for more ideas and more inspiration. Thanks for watching. Bye.